right, all set? All right. All right, and we are live. Are we live? Donna. There's Donna there. Okay, that's great. Morning. How are you? Good. Excellent. We're good? All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the delay. We were just checking the live stream because Noura and Jamil are actually watching remotely while we make this announcement. So wanted to make sure that they were going to be able to watch with you. Well, this morning we announced the Bassel Khartabil Memorial inaugural fellow, and then also the first recipients of the Memorial Fund. And so I have some brief remarks. I'm going to invite up a friend of Bassel and Noura to speak briefly. We'll announce the fellow, and they've sent a video along, which we'll show you. And then I have some brief closing remarks and one surprise, because there's always a surprise. So it's my privilege to make this announcement, and I'm very proud of the work that has been done in order to get us here in memory of our friend Bassel Khartabil. In a moment, as I said, I'll invite Donna Trometer to speak, and I'll bring her up in just a second. But I want to tell you a little bit about Bassel, because not everyone knew him. And even myself, I never got to meet him. By the time I joined Creative Commons, Bassel had already been imprisoned. He was an activist, a free culture leader, the CC lead in Syria, but a Wikipedian, a Mozillian, and more. He worked in many open communities. In 2011, he was arrested and imprisoned by the Syrian military. The Freebassel campaign fought for his safe return and kept the eyes of the world on him and attention on his plight. But in August of last year, we got the terrible news that he'd in fact been executed in 2015. It was devastating for all of us. Now, shortly after, at the request of his family and his friends, we stepped forward to help create the first Bassel Khartabil Free Culture Fellowship, which provides a $50,000 US stipend, as well as some operational and travel expenses and access to the networks of our partners to carry out the work that celebrated Bassel's legacy and his life. It is supported by a broad coalition of organizations, which I will name in a second, and we're very proud of that work. Secondly, alongside that fellowship, we also created the Bassel Khartabil Memorial Fund, meant to provide grants to the organizations and individuals doing this work. And so we'll be announcing the first 3 recipients, and that will be an ongoing fund that we will continue to work on. So we solicited applicants from all over the world, and with the help of our partners, we sought out candidates from all over, but especially in the Arab world or Arab-speaking countries and in the MENA region. Nearly 100 applicants came forward, some really, really spectacular applications and really difficult choices for us to make, and we're pretty excited to share with you the first recipient. I want to thank the supporting partners who made this possible, both financially, but also, and I think over the long run, more importantly, with their insights, for sharing their networks, their connections. Many of them have their own fellows, and this person will have the opportunity to share in that big open that we talk about. Each one of them stepped forward almost without hesitation, and with a lot of enthusiasm to continue Bassel's legacy and to see his work go. We'll all play a role in stewarding this fellow over the coming year. So I want to thank them by name: Wikimedia Foundation, Mozilla, Fabricators Foundation, Freebassel, New Palmyra, the Jimmy Wales Foundation, SMEX, and Yalla Startup. Many of them are here today. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for stepping forward to continue Bassel's legacy and his memory. And the Memorial Fund also provides grants to specific projects in the spirit of Bassel's work, and I want to thank our lead sponsor and supporter for the Bassel Khartabil Memorial Fund, Private Internet Access. You'll know them as a longtime CC Summit partner, and as with the fellowship partners, they did not hesitate and step forward and were interested when they heard this story to step forward and help, and we're grateful for that. I want to thank Bassel's family and to the hundreds of individual donors who stepped forward and made donations to this fund when we heard of Bassel's death. So I want to also finally thank journalist and author and friend of Creative Commons, Donatella Delarada, who is also watching, we hope, online, for her extremely valuable support in helping us with the evaluations of the applications and her guidance. Thank you. So now I want to invite Dana Trometer, a filmmaker who led the Freebassel campaign and a friend of Bassel and Noura, to tell us about them. I want you to get to hear from her directly. We put the stairs together. It's really hard.
Okay, hi. To tell you a bit more about Bassel before we start, so you can visualize the person we're talking about today. He never stopped being a Wikipedian Bassel and a Creative Commons freeman. Bassel wrote me a letter back on the 5th of November 2013 from Damascus Central Jail. And he says to me, he wanted to actually translate some books. So he sent me a list of the books to translate and tell me I need these books as soon as possible delivered to my jail so I can translate them. And I'm like, the guy is living on another planet. But anyway, we did manage, he always managed to have books and translate books and read books, which kept him sane for many years. And he writes, by the way, my dad will visit me next Saturday. I will ask him to type the books. When I finish this, will make him very happy. I can't pay any translation rights and will donate the money from publishing the books to my friends in jail. So please, tell this to the book authors and tell them I will translate from jail. In short, please, please, Dana, convince them to give me the rights for free, yeah? So this is the guy we're talking about. And so this kind of, to just journalize the man he was and the work he was always offering, even when he was kind of incarcerated. For this reason, I would like you all to stand a 1-minute silence for Bassel's life. Thank you. Noura, Bassel's widow, and Jamil, his dad, would have loved to be here. But due to many circumstances, they couldn't join us. But they are live watching today over on the internet, if the internet allows in Damascus today. For free speech and the wish to live free, Bassel paid the ultimate price. Today, we are all here to pay respect and to honor him. But most importantly, to honor the living, too. Noura Ghazi, Bassel's wife, sacrificed her youth as a new bride and traveled to see Bassel almost 4 days a week, putting her life in extreme danger through checkpoints to deliver us letters and gifts that Bassel kept on sending us. Without Noura, we would have never, ever known who Bassel really was. His courage and patience lasted almost 4 years in prison before the unlawful order to kill him came through. Noura, I would like us to all applaud her, to her courage. Seriously, she's awesome. Thank you very much. Now, to keep it short, the Freebassel campaign, everybody is asking us, and the press is always, this is the first question, where is the Freebassel campaign going? What are you doing next? We mourn Bassel. We're putting Bassel now in archive.org for Freebassel archive, for all the work he has done and we have done with him. But now we're moving to basselkhartabil.org. Please follow us. It will be the new lead at Bassel Khartabil and basselkhartabil.org, and we will hope to continue with Noura and with his family a legacy, but as well for the living too. Thank you very much.
So without further ado, let's announce the first Bassel Khartabil Fellow. Majd al-Shahibi. On behalf of the partners, we are very excited to announce him as our first fellow. He's a Palestinian Syrian engineer and urban planning graduate based in Beirut, Lebanon. Majd, there you go. Majd is a student at the American University of Beirut and will work over the coming year on 2 exciting projects focused on the enhancement of Syrian oral history archives, as well as a project to digitize previously forgotten 1940s-era public domain maps of Palestine. Now, fellows have their own views and opinions, so let's let Majd speak for himself. Majd has prepared a video for us, so I will let him talk about his work in his own words. Hold on. Can't get this wrong. It's my fault. Yeah, I can fix it. Hold on. We got it. Let's see if we have audio now, guys. That was on me. No. Well, he won't get his own words if I don't get the audio fixed. You guys have it over there? Any sound coming out of there?
Humbled and honored, I feel.
All right, hold on. Forgive me, we'll start at the beginning so you can hear from him. All set? All right, here we go.
Hi everyone, my name is Majd al-Shahibi. I'm a Palestinian Syrian technologist and urbanist living in Beirut, Lebanon. I cannot describe to you how humbled and honored I feel for being selected as the inaugural Bassel Khartabil Free Culture Fellow. I'd like to thank the partners that made this fellowship possible. There's a lot of them, so bear with me. Creative Commons Foundation, the Freebassel Campaign, Wikimedia Foundation, Global Voices, Mozilla, the Jimmy Wales Foundation, Fabricators Foundation, Yalla Startup, and of course, SMAX. This fellowship is about continuing to grow the movement that Bassel was a part of. It's about strengthening our open communities. Through this fellowship, I intend to focus on 2 of those communities: the Oral History Archive community and the GIS community. I intend to do this through 2 different projects. The first one is about creating an open source platform that facilitates the process of publishing oral history testimonies. This is from the beginning at the collection stage, through archiving, cataloging, indexing, and finally to publishing. I will be working with a number of oral history archives here in Beirut to test and develop the concept for this platform. The first of those archives is the Syrian Oral History Archive, which is documenting the lived experiences of those living through the war in Syria right now, with a focus on the experiences of women and youth, and those in the families of the imprisoned, missing, and disappeared in the Syrian regime jails. The second project is about the digitization and publishing of maps of Palestine, which were made during the British Mandate in the 1940s. This is before the establishment of the State of Israel and the ethnic cleansing and the destruction that ensued. To me, what's common about these projects is that they are about preserving memory. The memory of our people, the Palestinians and the Syrians who have resisted and asserted their ideals. Those projects are about insisting on building communities on the basis of openness and collaboration. And I am sure that those are values that Bassel would have stood behind.
Thank you to our new friend Majd. Congratulations. We're looking forward to working with him and to seeing his amazing work over the coming year. So let's move into our inaugural Memorial Fund recipients. There are 3, and I will go through them for you. They are ADEF Lebanon, the Arab Digital Expression Foundation in Lebanon, the Mozarine Collective, and shark.org. I'll tell you briefly about them, and you'll be able to learn more in the release that we're publishing on our blog at creativecommons.org. So ADF Lebanon builds spaces and fosters environments focused on digital expression, learning, skills development, and empowerment of Arab-speaking teenagers and youth to strengthen their engagement with society. The fund will support ADEF Lebanon's 2018 Youth Media Activist Camp to be held in Beirut, Lebanon later this year. These 10-day camps, which have been held since 2014, will this year bring together 50 young participants representing collectives, students and social activists, technologists, and aspiring writers and journalists. The camps will continue to mobilize and catalyze a new community of Lebanese, Syrian, and Palestinian social and political activists, all who share openly. Next is the Egyptian-based Mozarine Collective, which is a volunteer media group born out of the rapid expansion of citizen journalism and cultural activism during the Egyptian Revolution of 2011. Now, with support from the fund, the collective will expand and grow 858.ma, their predominantly open source collection of 858 hours of filmed, indexed, and geolocated archival footage from the Egyptian Revolution. The collective plans to launch new workshops and training for video activists, bring together other collections and collectors of video, engage new volunteers to archive and annotate their works, and train those volunteers in the use of open source video platforms to help them upload their own footage. And finally, the mission of Lebanon-based Shark is to strengthen the ability of Arab citizens to hear and to be heard, and to engage in honest and productive interactions. They carry out this work through the production of oral history collections and capture stories and experiences of individuals across the Arab world. Now, with the support of the Memorial Fund, Shark will develop the Arab World Voices Library, a comprehensive and focused online library that converges their ongoing collections of oral histories from Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, and Libya. Shark will also conduct workshops and online training to help engage and recruit new participants from around the world to grow and curate the library for future generations. So please help me congratulate Majd, ADEF Lebanon, Mozarine Collective, and shark.org. Now, unfortunately, Noura Ghazi, the human rights lawyer, activist, and Bassel's widow, of course, was not able to join us for the summit. We hope that she's watching online with us, and she wanted to share these words for everyone here today. And for those of you in the back, I'll just read them. It has been extraordinary to see the range of projects and initiatives proposed for this fellowship honoring Bassel's work. Bassel was first and foremost a proud member and leader within Syria's Creative Commons, open source, and free culture communities. I'd like to send my heartfelt thanks to everyone at Creative Commons for all the love and support they gave us throughout the hard years Bassel spent in a Syrian prison. I would like to congratulate Majd and the Memorial Fund recipients, and I know Bassel would have been a great colleague and supporter of all involved. I wish you good luck with the summit, and I regret not being able to be there with you. So thank you, Noura, for your incredible courage. Thank you for your support in helping bring this fellowship and the Memorial Fund to fruition, and for everything you do to aid the plight of displaced Syrian refugees during this terrible and continuing conflict. So before I wrap up on this and just a few closing remarks, I'd like to say that this is just the beginning for this work. We'll open a new call of applications for the Memorial Fund in the coming months, and I know the partners intend to keep the door open to continue Bassel's legacy by working with the fellow and with the partner funders or partners who are funded. This is the first in what we hope will be an ongoing annual fellowship to honor his work, his life, and his legacy. So thanks again to the applicants, the partners, and the evaluation team. Congratulations to Medj and our fund recipients. As I said in my opening to this conference, I do truly believe that the greatest thing we can do to honor Bassel's legacy is to lift up many more individuals just like him. So I want to take a couple of minutes to wrap things up. I have one surprise, which I promised at the opening, to reflect on a couple of the things that I've heard over the conference and some themes that have been emerging in the discussions. So first of all, welcoming open communities do not happen by accident. You all know that. They're intentional, and inclusion is not a noun, it's a verb. And the many people who lead this community and organize this event, they work tirelessly to create welcoming, safe spaces for diverse conversations. But we don't always get it right. We're human, we make mistakes, we forget. And yesterday, I want to reflect on something that happened in a panel I was in. On a panel about digital archives, an audience member stood up and asked a question why there were no people of color on that panel. I was one of the participants on that panel. And it took a lot of courage for that person to ask that question, to stand up and call out the organizers and the CEO and leaders in digital archives to raise a very important and correct point. The point was fair and correct, but more importantly, I'm glad they asked. Because at the beginning we said, you belong here, your voice matters here, this is your summit. And I was very proud that she did, and I wanted to acknowledge it. And we will do better. Secondly, Larry and Catherine's comments kind of felt like bookends to me, and I think of their keynotes. And I saw them referenced throughout the event, and I love when that happens, when a keynote or a talk reverberates like ripples in other conversations, and you see people bring them up. Larry in his talked about how heartbreaking and difficult it is to fail. And he shared loss, and he shared his doubt in a way that I always find really honest and striking. It is rare for people to do that. But he ended on this point of hope, that sometimes you may lose the battle, but win another one later as a result of your fight in the first place. And he encouraged us to continue and persevere, and he celebrated what all of you have built and are building together. And I hope that we'll do both and celebrate those wins and be undeterred by our losses, because we never know what wins they might reveal later. Now, at the other end of that, Catherine talked about the difficulty of success, the challenge of mainstream success, and so much of the infrastructure of the web is taken for granted and now exploited. Yesterday, there was a vigorous discussion about open education and the businesses that seek to work in this space. I see this as both a very significant and urgent challenge, and also an indicator of our success in the open movement. It's an opportunity right now to intervene and to collaborate and to demand better from all who work with us. So I hope that these concepts and ideas continue to permeate this movement that we're building together, and I'm already looking forward to our next summit. My team in the back is cringing. They're not ready to think about the next summit yet. They're still tired. So on that note, I have one more surprise before I close. We have been in Toronto for 2 years now for the CC Summit, and it has been fantastic. And I see half of you looking out the window saying, maybe not fantastic weather. Other parts have been fantastic, and I should note that we have heard that many a flight has been canceled today. For that, I'm sorry. And also, please check your flights before you head to the airport. But it's time to move. It's time to move on to a different location, as has been the tradition for CC. And I want to announce where we're going for 2019. Now in 2020, once the Global Network Council has been established, we'll work with them closely and we'll lead that selection with them hand in hand, as has always been our intention. But this year, we're going to announce next year, which is a thing we've never been able to do, give you a full year to plan your attendance at next year's CC Summit. So I want to invite the team from CC Portugal to join us on the stage, because I'm excited to tell you that next year's summit will be in 2019 in Lisbon. You want to?
Okay, so this is scary. Exciting but scary. I don't know. I know some of you remember when I was one-person team. I'm not a one-person team. We are 5 individuals now. We have no institution on our background, so this is crazy because we are doing as individuals. We are hosting 500 people in Lisbon as 5 individuals, which is, wow. Yeah, an advantage. So we, of course, counting on the support of the headquarters. They say that they have everything figured out and we don't have to do anything. So I do hope so. And if we succeed in doing it, I think it will be really interesting, showing that individuals have the power to do like huge things that 8 years ago when I joined this community, I never even crossed my mind that we were able to be in that place next year. So last thing, we are staging a performance at 5 p.m. today. So if you want to know a bit how is it going to be next year, how fun is it going to be next year, I invite you to come to our performance, like meta performance / fake trial / discussion / a lot of laughing and frustration about the law at 5 p.m., okay? So see you next year.
And now I have actually one extra surprise for you. You may have seen our friend Sebastian Terberg wandering about. He's the guy with the camera and occasionally a video camera. And as he did last year, he has, just whipped together a nice little video to show you at the end, which you can enjoy on your way out and as you move on to your next thing. So let's play that, and I'll give my AV friends a heads up that I expect it's got some sound. Thank you.